All right, let's go. Module 1 of Google My Business, the foundation. So what we're talking about here are the basic elements of the platform and the really key pieces of it that you may have seen but not taken really seriously or just simply haven't dove into yet to truly make them as good as they can be. So we've talked about why every business should have one, but we'll go a little deeper into that. We're going to find out whether or not your business is already listed within Google My Business and how not to create a duplicate account if you can help it, and then how to navigate around the dashboard to get going. So essentially, any kind of listing on Google My Business platform is a search result that allows those who are seeking whatever it is you sell or do or offer, and giving them the relevant information that they would need in order to find you and work with you. And if we don't optimize these things or create these listings, the internet has a way. Google's search indexers, or crawlers as they call them, will work their way through every site on the internet. They do eventually. They will get to yours, and it will crawl and index those pages, and then ideally serve up that kind of site, or your site, when someone is searching for it. Now we're talking about general Google search here, not so much Google Maps or GMB listings, which show up on the right side of our page, which we'll get to. But if we're actually thinking about how to optimize our page so that those crawlers are served exactly what we want it to see, we start here. If we go deeper into the back end of our actual parent website, we can play with things like page titles and meta descriptions and image keywords, etc. But for now, we're thinking about how to optimize the local search results and what shows up in Google Maps with our GMB profile. So our listing that we create in GMB shows up differently on desktop and mobile, and it looks kind of like this. So if I was to search on Google, Italian restaurant, London, UK, right away that's a localized search because I'm using a geographical reference within it. And I'm going to see a search result that is very map-based. It's location and relevant. And it's going to say, okay, what does she want? We're going to send her, this Italian Tony's Amalfia and Bianchini's and Boncaccini's, and I should have read those sooner, fiddles. And we're going to see some very interesting kind of parameters that also appear. Are they open or closed? Do they have dine up or pick up, or takeout, I should say, or curbside pickup? And then, of course, reviews that show up right away too. So take note of how these types of searches are appearing, because it's very different than if I was to do an information-based search like Italian food, or a transactional food like noodle maker, search, I should say. We're going to see very different search results depending on the stage we're at in our search query or our user journey, the funnel if you're in sales. So again, this one is very location relevant. If I was to type in something like Italian food or noodle maker, I'm going to get probably more of an informational based result with lots of Wikipedia, maybe some shopping listings, etc. The mobile result, of course, is even more action-oriented. The directions that we saw on the desktop search results are replaced by calls to action, like find a table, book now. If you did this for a hotel, you would see immediately price comparisons on room rates. So it depends on the type of category. Remember that word because it's coming at you hard and fast pretty soon. But it depends on the type of category you place your business into as to what types of calls to actions you're going to see or have the ability to optimize, i.e. utilize, when it comes to your own GMB page. Okay, one thing while we're here, I'm going to quickly show you an example of this. So if I was to look for, let's say I am, traveling to Banff sometime in the coming weeks, maybe to do some shopping or getaway or whatever it is. I'm going to see right away some search results. So let's just do a little SEO 101 here. I've got an ad at the top created in Google Ads. This is a search ad. It's not an image ad. It's not a shopping ad. It's not a video ad. It's just what they call a search ad using just words. Then I've got their organic results. I've got a subdomain here of shop.lululemon.com where they're using their parent URL, lululemon.com, and they're attaching a subdomain to it, which they've created within their domain host. And it's not too hard to do. And instead of having it as a domain extension, lululemon.com/shop /about/blog. That's just a page on the site. We all have those. They're using a subdomain, which they put in front of the parent domain to capitalize on the fact that they want their parent domain to really be used all the time, drive all the traffic and the rankings towards that parent domain, but also have additional websites. So maybe their parent website is built on WordPress and their shop site is built on Shopify. So it's a totally different website that they need to point people to without having a different domain entirely. That's just a side note. Now, what we see here, let's not look at the ad. Let's look at, let me just do a Lululemon general search. They get to be our case study today. I'm going to see some ads here. We all know what this looks like. Lululemon is a navigational type search. My search intent is navigational because I'm using the brand name. If I said black yoga stretchy pants, I'm probably going to see a lot of Lululemon show up because they're so well ranked on the internet and well traveled and trafficked, etc. However, in this case, they're also aware that I'm directly searching for some probably shopping items, and they're showing me some shopping ads. And then, some other things that people are bidding against them for. That would be an expensive ad. If I'm going to bid against the word Lululemon, you can better believe I'm paying like $50 a click, I bet, for these guys. Good on them. But it happens all the time. People bid against each other's brand terms. Okay, let's go down to their organic search result here. These are page titles. These are not controlled within GMB, and I'm setting us up to know this so that when we look at our GMB pages and results, we see what we can optimize in our GMB search results versus what is straight up built into our website. So these are page titles of the various pages in their site. These are page descriptions, which we should all be finding a way to edit and optimize so that they each have their own description. It's not copy pasted across the whole site, and it just generally looks good. I'm going to show you a really bad example of one that needs some work. And I left it this way today because I wanted to show you a bad example. Now, this is going to be a biased search because I'm not in an incognito window. So it's recognizing my search terms and it's and my browsing behavior, and it's serving it up quite quickly. So don't mistake yourself to be really popular and well optimized for search just because you've searched in a regular window. Go incognito. But let's see. Look at my pages that are showing up. Horrible. What I need to do here is, for one, hide from search engines some of the pages that don't need to show up, like hello and help and my account, and instead optimize the top 6 pages that I want to show up. I'm really lucky that we have enough search domain authority with Google that we are showing up with an expanded search result. That's great. I've got all these other kind of rich snippets happening on the right side. Again, not all of these are controlled by Google My Business. Some are. And some of these are directly a result of how my parent website is or isn't optimized, just so we're clear on that. Depending on the website host that you're using, WordPress versus Wix versus Squarespace versus Kajabi, you're going to have the increased or lesser ability to kind of tailor each page for SEO optimization or for search optimization. So just take note of that. That's a whole separate bag of wax. We've got many SEO courses which are not too overwhelming. I promise you, it's the simplest tweaks that can make a huge difference. But let's go back to where GMB actually comes in here. So I'm going to go back to my Lululemon Banff because, again, if I can spell and talk at the same time, sorry, that is a local search. This is where our GMB listing comes in. So if you noticed before, on my straight up Lululemon search, I was seeing different results that come in from Wikipedia, from stock prices. I'm seeing, their social profiles showing up here. I'm seeing similar searches. This is all free, by the way. This is Google saying, oh, we're going to try and give you as much as we can about this company because this company's told us a lot about themselves, either purposely or just over time. Our web crawlers have indexed it in a way that we know their logo, we know their stock, etc. But if, again, I go back to that localized search, it looks very different. Now I'm getting a map. I'm getting directions. I'm getting more questions and answers because they have activated this feature within GMB. I'm seeing, sure, some shopping listings, which might, again, be pulled from their website. unless they have a piece of GMB activated that allows that. If I was a hotel, my GMB page would allow me to list various room prices or have a booking functionality within this, as we saw earlier. And then my reviews show up, a little bit of a page description. Remember that as well. We'll get to that. As well as the top here, my category, sportswear store in Banff, Alberta. Pretty basic. And then a quick summary. So I want you to see all that to know the difference between a Google My Business search result that is pulling from GMB, that platform or the profile that you're creating, and then one that is more generic on the internet, that's a generic search result coming from your website. All right, hope I didn't confuse you too much to start. So let's go back. Here we are. We're showing up in search like this on desktop and mobile. The real thing I want you to notice here is how tight that mobile search result is. Now, every stat out there will tell us that as search habits change and as a technology changes and evolves by the minute, our search queries are getting lazier as humans, and we're using voice search like crazy. Reportedly, by 2025, 85% of search will occur with voice. Siri, Alexa, every other voice-activated platform out there that is going to tell you where you should go eat dinner, and they're going to give you one search result. What dog groomer should you be going to while in Banff? This one, because they optimized the best and they came up first, and that's who Alexa is telling me I should go find. So a tip here, really encourage you to get the Google My Business app. Just like you've got your Google Chrome app and you've got your Google Ads map perhaps and your Analytics map, a really important one in the Google suite of apps is the GMB dedicated app. And once you've set up and optimized your profile on desktop, I recommend, so that you have a bigger, broader view of things and you can more easily create your page, then I would suggest that you get the app and you can easily go in and update it as needed, review or respond to reviews, post your updates on your page like we'll look at next, and do a few other things. A few screenshots of what the app looks like for me. As you can see, I've got the ability to create posts, edit my information, add a category or make a product update, see how it's all showing up in general, change my hours, change my address, etc. Okay, if I haven't said it already, here's the other fantastic piece about GMB. This is what allows you to show up in Google Maps. I'll say it again. Google Maps, the thing we use all the time because it's better than Apple Maps and a bunch of others. And some people only rely on their Google Maps result for their marketing. I've literally spoken to sled dog operators in Canmore who only rely on their Google Maps result for people to phone them up on the spot, get directions, and come and book. So some of that can happen organically, and again, some of it is really purposefully created in GMB as to how we're going to show up in Maps. So we've talked about a few different reasons you should have a GMB listing, but to recap, free listing in search results, free Google Maps listing with that beautiful pin drop, and then the ability to click on that pin or tap on it and get so much more information, phone you directly, book, get directions, etc. We can acquire customer reviews, which are so important in this age of referrals being everything. And then, of course, the opportunity for these beautiful posts, which we're going to look at. So how to tell if we have a GMB page? Let's just check this out quickly. The easiest way is to go into Google Maps and simply type in your business name or a variation of it. Again, I would encourage you to do this in an incognito window, but really make sure that you know whether or not you have one already and whether you can capture the admin rights to that page before you go and set up a new one, as it can be frustrating to sort them out after the fact when you have to cancel one, open the other, prove ownership, etc. Side note on those types of admin frustrations, it's the same with trying to claim your Facebook page, which is harder now than it ever was before. Why? Well, these platforms are so valuable to businesses. 10 years ago, 7 years ago, it was your assistant's daughter that set up your Facebook page, and I don't know who's got the keys to it. Well, now we know these to be absolutely powerful tools for our businesses, and they affect our search rankings. They allow us to communicate. All the reasons I won't get into why we use social media for our businesses, but there's a lot of loopholes now to jump through to prove that you are in fact the owner of that page. it's worth it. Go through the process, work through the help menus. If you've got overlapping locations on Google My Business that you've got to clean up, or a page that you can't take ownership of, go through as many help steps as you can with Google. Pull out as little hair as you possibly can, because it will take time and it's frustrating because you can't often speak to humans. But do the steps that it asks you to do to prove ownership. Sometimes that's literally a copy of your passport, your phone bills, etc. It's worth it to claim these things, and then you're laughing once you do. Okay, so we'll go and look at what this looks like. If I go back into just simply Googling Google My Business, and I'll hit that ad right there, it takes me in. I can either manage my existing page or simply sign in. At Social School, we run all of our email accounts and everything else off of G Suite, which I absolutely love. I manage a couple friends' pages sometimes here and there, so that one showed up as well as a location, but this is my parent account, and this is what the dashboard looks like. So just like any dashboard, and you may have seen this before but not paid a lot of attention to it, you've got all sorts of features within this home screen that you can, take cues from or ignore as you please. And then on the left side, of course, we've got all of the places that we can optimize, and it goes quite far down. So let's look at posts, since it's right here. The reason they put posts at the top, I'm telling you, is because people are not using it as much as they should. They do this, right? It's like Facebook, like showing IGTV and Reels everywhere you look, because they want people to use this new feature. What is posts? It is free real estate in your rankings, in your results. And shame on us, we haven't updated this in a while, so don't take my medicine. But when you're creating your content calendar, there is no reason not to pull a post from Facebook or LinkedIn once a week, because they stay live for 7 days and then they disappear. But to create one of these beautiful little posts that actually tells people a little bit more about yourself. And if Lululemon had one live right now, we would have seen it in their search results. So why wouldn't you claim additional real estate, capture more eyeballs with one of these nice little post types? I can add an update about my hours. I can add an offer if I've got a certain amount of, sales or promo items to kick out. I can add an event, of course. And then just like you would with, Facebook or an Instagram post, you simply add whatever it's asking you to add. You may not have an event, you may not have offers, but a simple update is dead easy. And look at some sample posts if you need to see what some of those look like. And they really do, again, show up and make a difference in your listing. Okay, info. So this is where you're going to spend your initial time if you haven't done so already. And it goes without saying that this would be your basic business information. Your hours, your address, your locations. You're going to have to, again, wait till you receive a verification sort of postcard in the mail in order to prove that you do, in fact, own the address or the physical location that you're saying you do. It's worth it. Once again, you want that pin on Google Maps to show up? You've got to show Google that yes, I live here. Yes, this is my business's address. If you want to do the same, if you're a home-based business, you can, if you're willing to let your personal residence show up as that business's headquarters. But even better if you can do this for your brick and mortar or office location, of course. You want to give Google everything it's asking for them to take you seriously. And if you've ever looked at your neighborhood or your business district on Google Maps and not seen yourself there, it's simply because you haven't gone through these steps. You will show up there. The more that you're clicked on and traveled to and people search for you, the even better chance you'll show up when there's less search results, when that map is zoomed in even closer. This is what we're talking about with ranking factors. Ranking is not just lists on a page. It's appearances on maps and in other places that people would search for us. So I can fill in all of these things. And of course, I'm going to keep this updated once a week. And this is why I say put a new post up once a week. And it's okay if it's a bit of a duplicate of Facebook or LinkedIn, like I said. Chances are people aren't necessarily searching for you on Facebook or, following you on Facebook and engaging with your content there as they are searching for you on Google. It might be different people. Even if it's an overlap, it's better than nothing. Switch up the post a bit if you can. Create a dedicated calendar for your GMB posts. Great. Maybe divide up those posts into things like events, offers, updates, but if nothing else, just pull in that content from your social platforms and post it live once a week. Where? Over in posts. There are a few automation platforms for GMB. Hootsuite, I don't believe to date has the ability for you to schedule your GMB posts, but I was using a tool called Social Pilot for a few months over the summer, and I did enjoy it, and it scheduled GMB posts. I found it a little bit pricey and not as user-friendly as Hootsuite, but I'm all for trying different platforms. So go ahead if you feel like it's important for you to schedule your GMBs because you just can't manage to get in here live. Go ahead and find a scheduling tool for those too. You can absolutely do that. The other thing though is that if you come in here live once a week and you follow the email notification prompts that you're going to activate and say, yes, please send me those, you're going to be prompted to come into this platform more often, keep it clean, keep it updated, and keep it top of mind because it's so, so important. Okay, we'll get into insights and reviews in a little bit, but just thinking about working through every aspect of that info tab is really important. The next thing I want to bring your attention to right here is right below your business name, you've got your business categories. I'm going to pause for a minute and say that one more time. Business categories. This is the money shot. And this is what so many of us are not doing well. And the thing about business categories is that unlike every other thing in your life right now, where less is more, like everything, less is more, tight and bright, quality over quantity. When it comes to categories in GMB, more is more. You can have as many categories as you like. And I have not optimized our page, again, kind of on purpose, to show you that there's so many more we could do here. What do I need to do? I need to absolutely know what my people, as in my prospects who don't know of me yet, and my existing customers who need to refine me perhaps, my past customers, I need to know what search terminology they're using. I can go into my Facebook analytics, my Google Analytics, and look at search terms. Or, ta-da, I can find this in Insights right in GMB. And it's also going to be emailed to me once a month in my GMB report, how my page performed on Google and how people found me, what search terms they used. Pay attention to these things. It might surprise you. You might be not at all surprised and they're just searching for boutique hotel Canmore or massage therapy London, Ontario. But if you're absolutely or if you're in some kind of maybe technical industry or your users don't know the terminology you would use and they're literally searching back rub Toronto, you better be able to show up using that search query as well. So we've got to match what it is people think they know about us versus what we want them to know about us and find that happy medium. Now, these categories are so important and really they make a lot of sense when we think about our Google ad campaigns. If you've ever run an ad campaign, you have categories of keywords. And what these are bulk groups of keywords per industry. So I helped a disinfectant solution set up a website and all their social and ad campaigns several months ago. And our categories of Google keywords for our ad campaigns were geared at educational institutions, school bus drivers, teachers, administrators, decision makers, everything around disinfecting schools, daycares, etc. Then we had a whole bulk keyword set of fitness centers, spin studios, gyms, trainers, and then likewise for the medical industry, health practitioners, nurses, clinics, dental offices. So categories, where does your business fit into people's mentality? Maybe you're straight up, a hotel. Great, but are you a family-friendly hotel? Are you a boutique hotel? Are you a destination hotel? Are you a motel? Whatever you can come up with here. Maybe restaurant is a better example. And we'll see this in a minute when we look at some search results. If I am a family-friendly restaurant, am I also, gluten-free food? Am I vegetarian? Am I, homemade, locally owned, whatever it is? These are not products. These are categories. Caveat being that you've got to find something that Google recognizes. So as a marketing or educational institution, I should have other things up here, but I can't simply say Instagram teacher. They're going to be like, what? If I say apply. No, we don't understand what you're talking about. So I've got to play within the parameters of Google's categories, but there's no limit to how many I can have. And then underneath our categories, we get into the products, which is further down here. Services, products and services. And this is where our categories will show up. And then we're going to want to place our products and services carefully within them. So this is where, again, I haven't done a great job. I'm going to once again claim that I did it on purpose so I could show you what not to do. And where we've got our products, we've listed some big parent products, right? Our certificate. And then we've gone about using a whole lot of our own jargon and terminology as opposed to like Facebook, strategy, photography, video courses, training, using the language and the keywords that someone would be searching for. So this is where you need to, again, not keyword jam in and speak like a robot. Speak like a human, use their language, but tightly and succinctly describe what it is your products and services are. I've got a couple other examples where under the market, you can't really see it because I can't scroll up far enough. Let me see if I can. There we go. Under marketing consultant as one of my categories, social media strategy, graphic design. I can even go into additional information about these service descriptions or products. Where we saw Lululemon's products showing up there in their GMB result for Lululemon Banff. This is where we had some of their products or where they would have posted them to begin with. Okay, let's keep going. Back to where we were over in our slides. So we're going to type in our business name. We're going to decide on a couple categories, start with one, and then I'm going to show you how to ninja hack your way into seeing what your competitors are using and those who are showing up in search positions 1, 2, and 3 are using, and how to consider whether those make sense for you or how to flesh them out as much as possible. But start with your primaries and go from there. Adding your services, of course, and keeping in mind that these are like subcategories that further flesh out your parent categories. Physical location, adding your contact details, and being ready to verify that physical location if you need to, if you haven't done so already. Super important. Okay, so we just looked at the GMB dashboard. I took you through it a little bit. We'll look at a few other things here as we dive into additional optimization factors and ranking factors in Module 2. And I can't wait to see you there. Thank you.